everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we are going over the 2025 Snow White remake by Disney. So to start off with the plot, we have a more expanded remake of the original Snow White. It actually worked out pretty well in this movie's favor. There was some more backstory in the beginning of Snow White herself, as well as the queen, who basically mysteriously appears to everyone and gets the hand of the king in marriage, and the king goes off to war, and now the queen is there. So it's basically goes from there, the original plot of the original movie, which goes at a really quick pace. I'm surprised. We get to the cottage very fast in this one, and then after that we have the same kind of scenes with the dwarves, and they're all bickering and arguing with each other. Rather than being a tight-knit team in the original, they're a little more sparse and a little more angry at each other, which is pretty interesting. I also found that there's a side quest in the middle of the movie that focuses on these bandit guys who barely get any mention in the movie. Kind of. It's just strange. There's one guy who's the love interest, and it's good, I guess, but there really is just a lot of characters. It's just a lot of characters in this movie, and most of them don't really matter. There's a lot of focus on the town and the characters around it so far, and those moments are pretty cool. We have this beautiful, bright opening, and then we have a very dour middle, which works out pretty well for that. And after that big side quest moment, we tie everything together with the film, basically how it originally ended in a way. We have the poison apple, the queen transformation, her falling asleep and then waking up to a kiss, and the movie continues. I kind of like that a little bit, where the second act end point of this movie is basically the end of the original, and they go a little bit beyond, and it works out pretty well, and I kind of like it a lot. I actually liked it a lot, how they continue it a little more. It was pretty cool, and the ending was pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that a little more than the original's ending in a way, even though it did end a little abruptly, but the original did have that. But I'm getting ahead of myself on that. But the plot, I felt, was really well done. There were a lot of scenes that could have used a few more seconds to just add a little bit more meat on the bone to it. I feel like this film was a little bit rushed in a way. It went a little too fast at a lot of points and could have slowed down to be a little more coherent. There were a couple of things that I didn't understand in the movie that could have been addressed. A couple of characters' names that I didn't even know that were spoken. And just having a few of those scenes to let the movie breathe a bit would have been slightly better to enhance my enjoyment of this movie. But the plot was really great. How about those characters? The characters were actually really well done. I love this. I'm just going to say the dwarves were awesome. I love them. They look really kind of cute, ugly, ugly, cute, kind of not uncanny, really that much. They were just fine. They were fine dwarves. I wouldn't mind if Grumpy was a little more deeper. He was a little bit high up, kind of like this a little bit. And it sounded fine, but I don't know. I miss deep Grumpy, kind of like that, The dwarves kind of blended into each other sometimes. Grumpy, Dopey, and Doc. And I think Happy actually got a lot of screen time in this. The rest were kind of shoved to the side, like usual, I would think. But Dopey is a lot of the screen time in this. He gets actually some really good parts, and a lot of things about his character surprised me that I'm not going to really say, but I'm really, pleased with how they did the direction of Dopey in this one. I think he's my favorite dwarf. I mean, between him, Doc, and maybe Happy and Grumpy, of course, I think Dopey really stole the show here, and they did a great job with all the dwarves. It was just awesome. Could have used them more with some of them, but what we had here was fine. We had a group of bandits. There was a bunch of them, and their boss was the sort of love interest of the film, and he did a good job. He reminded me a lot of Flynn Rider from Tangled, and there were a couple moments where they could have expounded his character a little more. A couple things from the original, like he could have said his name was Florian from the original. That's what the prince's name was. In this movie, he isn't a prince per se, but we could have had that little tidbit of lore tied in or something. Just more lore would have been nice for the movie to kind of breathe a bit and get more context of things in that nature. Rachel Zegler did a great job. I was distracted by her eyebrows the entire movie. I'm sorry, it's just a me thing. I feel bad about it, but other than that, she was great. Everyone's saying she had a Lord Farquaad haircut. I'm like, okay, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever. That's how she kind of had it in the original, I guess. I don't really pay attention to much to the haircut thing. The more the face, she was pretty good with that role. She could sing her heart out and do a great job at that. Wonderful job on that part. She was great on that regard. Before moving on to the villain, the side characters were really good. The townspeople and the extras. There was a really nice mix of people in this old German town. And on one hand, I gotta say, I really love the fact that they incorporated a lot of different various races of people into the movie. But on the other hand, historical accuracy, it's that storyteller in me with the logic of that versus the fantasy aspects of the movie. I was cool with it. I actually liked it. And it worked out pretty well in that regard. Now, going on to the villain of the movie, Gal Gadot. She looks like the Queen a lot. She did a great job in that department of the looks. Now, for how she acted in the movie, she was okay. She was very stoic, very like mommy dearest in the beginning of the movie. She kind of went a little weird. She had a villain song we'll go over later on, but I just gotta say that she didn't knock it out of the park, but she didn't like make me hate her either. It's very middle of the road, and I just found it to be okay. You know, she didn't really do anything exceptionally well or exceptionally bad. I just found her to be really like, her apple's scaring me. I just found her to be really just fair. She wants to be the fairest of the land. She'll be fair in my review on this character. There's also a vulture in the movie, and heck yeah, vultures are really cool. So going on now to the dialogue of the movie, it was pretty good. It was nice, very contemporary though. I wouldn't really, give it high praise or ratings. It was kind of a boilerplate script. It did follow the original pretty much. Added a couple modernisms, and it's fine. It's a fine script. Works out pretty well with that dialogue. So now going on to the effects. The effects were really cool. I loved the mine scene. That was awesome. All those shiny lights were beautiful. I couldn't tell where the dwarves were in the middle of it because there's just a lot of chaos going on there with all the bright shiny lights, and I couldn't figure out who's who in this dark theater I'm in, but I thought it was pretty cool. Everything was on a green screen. I could tell at some points that they were on a green screen, and it almost at times reminded me of like the CW, those shows like Flash and Arrow and stuff like that, where the CG just wasn't like up to par. It was just serviceable and barely okay in that regard. But for other parts, it was really cool. They did CG for the Queen Witch transformation. It could have been more wrinkly, could have been worse. Enchanted did a better job. The Amy Adams movie way back when did a better job with their old woman makeup for the witch part with that, and I wish this one could do the same. But I overall liked the CG. The animals were adorable. Oh my god, they were really cute, and I loved them so much. The deer, gorgeous. There was a turtle in there also. There's a vulture in there too. The little rabbits, and there's a hedgehog that shows up on like the first frame of the entire movie, and I'm like, Sonic! It's Sonic! Yeah, because there was a lot of blue around. And there was also a hedgehog, so I put two and two together. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. So the music in this movie, as a huge fan of Disney musicals, this one brought me back to a lot of them. I really love how they did the music in this one. It was very happy and good, kind of campy in some ways, and it worked out great. The score, I didn't really remember that much, but the actual music part of it was done really well in that regard. I think the songs were really nice, and they were all cool, so I'm just going to go over them real quick. Good Things Grow was amazing. I love that one. Very nice, happy. The Reprise was awesome too, and kind of just like hit me a little bit. I love that one. It was really, really nice. Waiting on a Wish was pretty good. Rachel Zegler really like belted her heart out on that one. Great job on her part for that song. I got all the songs on my computer over here just looking at them. Hi-Ho was awesome. They did a little remix of it. A lot of the lines I couldn't hear because people next to me were talking in the theater, but it was very good to see. It's the whole mine train scene, and it just really just boop, 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 went like just down the line, and was a great quick clip song. They did a wonderful job on that. So now we get to the villain song, All Is Fair, and there's like a reprise of that. It was pretty good. She got kind of campy and weird at some points, and it kind of reminded me, a lot of this movie reminded me of Wish, Disney movie from a couple of years ago or so. The supposed like 50th anniversary or 100th anniversary centennial movie that kind of crashed and burned, and I'll go over that eventually. But All Is Fair was a good song. I like that one. It was kind of weird and campy, but the best part about the song is that the Queen changes costume to what we see in the animated movie, and I'm like, oh, there it is! There it is! There's the costume! There's the the villain thing, and I love Disney villains. And the Evil Queen was like, I think my first Disney villain I ever saw, or either it was Scar, because I was really into Scar when I was younger, maybe Jafar, I don't know. But the Evil Queen is like the one that everyone, models themselves after. Even Yzma wears purple, the kind of regal thing. Princess Problems was alright. It's this song between Snow White and the main guy, the boss leader of the, Jonathan is his character name. I'm just going to call him Jonathan from now on. Yeah, that was alright. Silly song was cute. I love the Silly song. That was awesome. Whistle While You Work is in there too. Maybe it was called Silly Song. I'm not sure. Oh no, there was Whistle While You Work. Yeah, Whistle While You Work was great. Silly song was great too. I love those. The Dwarfs did a great job of singing in all the little bits, and they extended the song a bit, and it worked out really well. It was just so cute. I loved it. And then the reprises of the songs did a great job with that. The score was really good. The end kind of capped off the movie in a great way. So here's my thoughts overall, and just going over the movie, and then I'll go on to my thoughts about how this movie kind of helped change my brain in a good way. You'll see. So I thought the movie was really great. It did a really nice job with updating the story to a modern platform. The characters did a really good job, aside from the villain, who was kind of campy and weird in a lot of parts. I liked her exit from the film. That was awesome and really cool, and stuff I wanted to see from other adaptations. That was pretty cool. That was awesome. Also, the magic mirror was cool. It was like one of those like theater masks, the tragedy comedy kind of mask. So that's really neat on that. The voice was good too, very solid on that. I'm really hungry for this apple. I want to eat it. It's a plastic apple. Overall, it was just a really pleasant movie. It was fun. It was safe. It was simple. It brought me back to a time that, I didn't think could really happen again, The music was very nice. The movie is like heavily CG'd and heavily green screened, but it did a great job in just putting you back in that time where things were simpler and better and happier, I think. So going to my thoughts about the whole meta text of the movie, everything leading up to it, the Rachel Zegler versus Gal Gadot, I just don't care about the vitriol given to this movie. When the product is a cute film for kids, it's supposed to be fun and happy. Where did our happiness go? Where is it? Really, so much negativity I see online, and so many people just spouting out anger and just hate for things that are just about being happy. It confuses me. It really confuses me how negative most people can be about what is essentially a work of art. I think all film, is a work of art. It's from a mind or many minds come together to make something fun, enjoyable, and entertaining, which is the goal, and which should be the goal of every single movie and television show out there. This movie has a lot of parts about, people fighting against each other, which is really relevant today. And it really kind of spoke to me that the bandits and the dwarves, even though they're basically the same kind of character, they still fight and bicker amongst each other. Even the dwarves themselves bicker amongst each other. And it just hurts me to see people do that. How even the queen was trying to sow distrust amongst people and try to make it so everyone was angry with each other instead of rising up and, getting her. And I just think that, maybe there was more positivity in the things that we talked about and the things that we did. Maybe the world and the internet and everything surrounding it would be better, would just be a better place. I think this movie is really great for reviewers to watch, people who love cinema, people who love stories and love imagination. Because this movie has a great core message that just come together, be one with your neighbor, be a good person, and care about others instead of fighting. And listening to those who say fight. Just listen to those who say love, because that's what true love's all about, being a good person, caring about others. She had this necklace on in the movie, and it just, spoke of love to me. It was a heart, and it really kind of captured the meaning of the whole thing. Just love. Put love out there. You'll get love back. Anyways, I really love this movie. It wasn't high art, it wasn't phenomenal, but it's what I think we need. And what we need, I think, in ways, is better than what we want. But thanks for watching, everybody. I've been Jesse Hecht Creative. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to do more movie reviews like this sometime in the future. I have a large list of every single movie that I've seen from the 1930s all the way until now. I'd love to share them all with you. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments below. Let me know if you saw the Snow White movie and what you thought about it. Tell me that in the comments below. If you like this content, please subscribe and just, tell me in the comments, or click the little thumbs up thing if you like this video and you want to see more, because I want to do more of this. I really love doing these kind of reviews, these little heart to hearts. So thank you all and take care. No, it's not real. It's not real. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.